I posted a TikTok today talking about quarterback pressure and how the general mainstream media, whether it be TV or internet, because it seems like internet and podcasting has become pretty mainstream at this point. But everyone talks about the quarterbacks with the most pressure, and the thing with that is it's like there's all different types of pressures for quarterbacks. There's winning a Super Bowl pressure, there's getting to the playoffs pressure, there's keeping your job pressure. It's all different types. You could say CJ Stroud has the most pressure in the league because he may not have a job with the Texans in a couple years. Who knows? You could say Josh Allen has the most pressure because he's due for a Super Bowl appearance slash win. Same thing for Lamar. But what I wanted to talk about was with all these guys getting contracts, what teams are under the most pressure to win this year? What teams? That way we can actually base it on, how the teams are being billed, where the teams are at in their, current fold. So I put a list of 6 teams. I wanted to do top 5, but I had to do 6. I guess this is the order I would go in from top to bottom. The Bills. Bills have the most pressure to win the Super Bowl, and it's Josh Allen centric. We know this. Josh Allen, pretty much known as the best quarterback in the sport now. With Pat Mahomes right there, obviously, and you got Matt Stafford at his age. I think those are the top 3. I've said that previously, but everyone thinks it's Josh Allen right now, talent wise. Mahomes had a couple downish seasons. I've seen people be like, well, look at his numbers last year. They weren't all that bad until the end of the season when he got hurt. Just watch the games. He was not, maybe it's partially the offense, maybe it's not. Maybe it's partially the offensive, the offensive guys around him, the offensive personnel. But let's get into the teams that, sorry. The Bills have so much pressure to win the Super Bowl. You thought last year was their year. They blew it against Denver. Big turnover by Allen. I think they only lost by a field goal. They should have had that game. Yeah, Bo Nix got hurt. They should have won that game. I think he got hurt late in the game, very late in the game. But regardless, Josh Allen was favored to win that game. They needed to win that game. I know it was on the road. Regardless, the pressure is now. It's on now for the Bills. And it's the same thing with the Ravens. I have them at number 3, but I'm going to bounce around because it's the same reason. That's Lamar. Lamar and, new coaching staff is going to be tough. But for the same reasons as I said with Josh Allen, Lamar's got the hardware. He's got the MVPs. Was last year just a down year for him? Or is this the decline of the running quarterback that he is? We'll have to see. Now, bounce back to number 2. Teams with most pressure to win the Super Bowl. It's the Rams. I mean, I didn't put them at number 1, even though you could say roster-wise they have the most pressure. Maybe they get Aaron Donald back at some point, Myles Garrett, Trent McDuffie, got new guys. Obviously Puka had his offseason issues. He's ready to go. Devontae Adams, Matt Stafford could etch his name in like maybe the top 10 of quarterbacks if they win a Super Bowl this year. Who knows? Who knows? But with their loaded roster, absolutely loaded team, the most loaded team in the entire league, they have the most pressure in the NFC, no doubt, to win a Super Bowl. And you'll notice most of the teams on my list, minus the Rams, haven't won a Super Bowl recently. The Rams are the only one. They won back in 2021 or 2022 when they beat the Bengals. They're it's mainly because of their roster and how they've pushed all their chips into the middle. So Bills, Rams, Ravens top 3. Number 4, the Detroit Lions, and this is how I thought of the list. There's a list of everybody that's gotten paid. There's a list that everyone's gotten paid for the Lions. I should have pulled it up. I think I have it saved. Well, this is really bad TV or internet. But the Detroit Lions are paying everybody. They're paying a ton of guys. Here it is. Sorry about that. They're paying Gibbs, Hutchinson, Campbell, Goff, St. Brown, Penei Sewell, Jameson Williams, Kirby Jones. They're paying all these guys. They're paying guys on the offensive line, the offensive skill players, the quarterback, defensive line, defensive skill players. They are paying everybody. How long is this core going to last? This is the 2nd year removed from Ben Johnson being gone. They need to win now. Their window is this year and next year, because after that, Who knows what Jahmyr Gibbs, they're going to use the fuck out of him these next couple years. Who knows how long he's going to go. I mean, who knows how long Jared Goff has. He's been in the league for a decade now. Who knows? I mean, he could have a couple years. He could have 3 years of really good football left. Their window is now. If they don't win in the next 2 years, I think I think their window will have been closed by then. You're paying all these guys, you got to win. You got to win. So that's the top four, and then the last two are kind of interchangeable. I didn't really know what order to go in, but it's Justin Herbert and the Chargers. I mean, again, this is quarterback centric. This is coach centric. You know, this is the third year of Jim Harbaugh in that system. They need Justin Herbert needs to prove that he is a playoff big time quarterback. I'm tired of seeing him in the top 5, top 6 quarterback rankings when he has done less than guys like Jalen Hurts, guys like Sam Darnold. I mean, he's obviously a super talented quarterback, and it's tough to keep him out of my top 10. I'll have my quarterback list soon. It's tough to keep him out of my top 10, but he should not be top 5 right now. He's not proved it. You know, same thing with Joe Burrow. You know, Joe's proved it to an extent, but it's been a few years. Those guys, they should not be top 5 quarterbacks right now. You know, talent or not. They need to prove that they are a perennial contender in the AFC. Not that they don't have to get to the Super Bowl. It's, you know, it would be very helpful, but they got to win playoff games. They got to prove that they can compete in their division. They were 5-1 in it last year. Couldn't take advantage of it come playoff time. Chargers number 5 and number 6 Dallas. Look, everyone, you're gonna put the Eagles up there. The Eagles just won the Super Bowl 2 years ago. Like, you know, let's stop that. They have different type of pressure. Again, Dak's been there over a decade. Second year with Schottenheimer. They got one of the best offenses in the entire league, is what everyone's telling me. Gotti. They're calling it Gotti. Gotti got to show up. Gotti got to show up. Like, I don't know if George Pickens is going to be great in his second year with the team. He might be. He might be. CeeDee Lamb, he's had some injury issues the last couple of years. Not missing a ton of time, but this team needs to win now. They got a nice young defense. Like I said, Dak's been in the league for a decade. Prove that you can win some playoff games. Prove that you can win in the playoffs. The only thing I can remember in my head is with Dak and the Cowboys in the playoffs, and I can't remember if this is the last playoff game that they actually were in. I apologize for it. But the only two things I can remember from Dallas and Dak in the playoffs are the 2 losses to Green Bay. I just saw some guy get rocked. Holy, big catch. But regardless, was the Mason Crosby kick to end the game and the Jordan Love domination against the Cowboys a few years back. They don't win playoff games. You know, most of my list, it's teams that have not won the big playoff games. Go win the big playoff games. Obviously, the Bills, the Ravens, you know, or the Bills, Ravens, Rams, Lions, all these teams except the Chargers and Cowboys have been to a conference championship game. But they haven't really, you know, proved that they are perennial playoff winners. And that's not to say that these teams are bad. Obviously, they're great teams, most of them. But yeah, Bills, Rams, Ravens, Lions, Chargers, Cowboys, top 6 teams, most pressure to win the championship this year. I went a little bit longer than I wanted to on this because I was trying to show something. That's totally my bad. But I had the Jaguars, the Packers, 49ers also up there, but just missing the top of my list. Quarterback rankings coming out